Is the Minister for Economic Development, Housing, Urban Renewal, Transport and Civil Aviation, and the Parliamentary Representative for the constituency of Castries South East, where this development is about to commence. Let me recognize also the Honorable Andy Daniel, Speaker of the St. Lucia House of Assembly, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Ports, Energy and Labor, Mr. Ivor Daniel, the Chief Representative of JICA St. Lucia, Mr. Hiroyasu Tonokawa, His Excellency Mr. Tatsuo Hirayama, Ambassador of Japan to St. Lucia, Senior Engineer Cheyenne Edwin, other distinguished personnel, friends, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to first start by extending an apology on behalf of the Prime Minister, who have asked me to indicate his unavoidable absence due to national commitments having to travel overseas. However, he has indicated his anticipation of the outcome of this project and the tremendous value and support which he places on this great gift from the government and people of Japan. He hopes that in the very near future, he can visit the site and to have an even greater appreciation of the actual construction of this very important bridge, but more so an appreciation of the social and economic value of this Japanese-funded bridge. But today, 10 years, 6 months, and 6 days since Tropical Storm Thomas ravaged St. Lucia, we are here gathered to participate in and witness the act of commencement towards the realization of a commitment made by an international friend of St. Lucia in the immediate aftermath of that deadly storm on the 30th of October 2020. Japan, a true ally of St. Lucia, established diplomatic relations with St. Lucia in January 1980, following our attainment of independence in February of 1979. Since then, Japan's contribution to St. Lucia punctuates our landscape and seascape with the numerous bilateral agreements and arrangements and social and economic initiatives in agriculture, disaster mitigation, fisheries, education, and social infrastructure. Japan has remained a true and trusted friend to our nation whenever the occasion arises. On the occasion of the distress or the disaster in 2010, Japan sprung into action within weeks of the passage of Thomas to undertake an assessment of the socio-economic impact of the storm on St. Lucia and to determine St. Lucia's greatest need at the time and for the future. Several visits were initiated by Japanese technical delegations, during which the Christmas Eve trough in December 2013 brought into sharp focus the need to make St. Lucia's infrastructure more climate resilient, particularly the bridges in the Cul-De-Sac Valley, which includes the Cul-De-Sac and Wabin-Poisson Bridge, to be resilient to handle a 1 in 100-year cycle adverse weather phenomenon. The investigations and discussions, the negotiations and final agreement took 7 years to culminate with the signing of the grant agreement between our two nations on August 9th through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Today is a proud moment as the Ministry of Infrastructure embarks on the official sword turning of another major project within our portfolio. This project is an 81-meter span bridge with approach roads and other flood mitigation mechanisms with funding from the government of Japan as grant aid administered through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Government was required to provide all the lands, create a bypass road, and create and construct a construction yard for the contractor to operate throughout the duration of the project. This project is expected to alleviate flooding in the Cul-De-Sac basin and to prevent traffic backup in the area during high rainfall events, which often causes social and economic paralysis, sometimes for days. In recent years, we have become very familiar with high rainfall, flooding, slope failures, and sometimes damage to public infrastructure, as we saw recently. Such occurrences was on the morning of April 29, 2021, last week, when a retaining wall and downslope of the road carriageway was washed away by the torrential rains. This required our urgent intervention to allow, at the soonest possible time, to establish a free and safe passage for vehicular traffic in the area. That we were able to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, as a ministry, we remain grateful for the assistance from the government and people of Japan for this generous assistance. This assistance has begun the transformation of Cul-De-Sac, acting as the trigger to new business opportunities in the area, as we have seen in most recent times. We look forward to the alleviation of the flooding in the immediate area. The timing of this bridge construction will dovetail very well into our next project, the Millennium Highway and West Coast Road Reconstruction Project. Today, I can report that we have received approval from the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and our very own Central Tenders Board, CTB, to award a contract for the first component of the project of the Millennium Highway to C.O. Williams Construction Barbados, better known Construction Barbados, for Lot 1, which symbolizes the very long-lasting relationships between our two people. I think I may have missed the page somewhere. Which is let me just say this. Today I can report that we have received approval both at the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and our very own Central Tenders Board to award a contract for the first component of the project to C.O. Williams Construction Barbados Limited for Lot 1, which is the segment from the Latok roundabout ending with a roundabout at the Cul-De-Sac junction. And now we can see next or near KFC, the most recent addition to the Cul-De-Sac commercial district. My ministry will do all within its power to deliver on its mandate to the people of St. Lucia. We pledge to support JICA in its efforts to deliver this project on time, within
the project here underway in Cul-De-Sac, financed by the government of Japan. We now move over to the official groundbreaking, and we invite to participate in this activity the Honorable Stephenson King, Minister for Infrastructure, the Honorable Guy E. Joseph, Minister for Economic Development, Mr. Hirosawa Tomoyaka, the Chief Representative of JICA St. Lucia, and Permanent Secretary Mr. Ivor Daniel, to partake in the official groundbreaking for the Cul-De-Sac Bridge reconstruction project. This activity will take place on the elevation across the road. So the officials just mentioned, the Honorable Minister for Infrastructure, Stephenson King, the Honorable Guy Joseph, Chief Representative Mr. Hiroyasu Tomoyaka, and Permanent Secretary Mr. Ivor Daniel. The members of the Traffic Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, they will assist you with making your way to the site for the groundbreaking ceremony. Whilst the officials make their way, we apologize to our viewers and listeners online for the break-in continuity of the broadcast a short while ago. And we say a warm hello and welcome to listeners who have joined us live on Sky FM 93.1. Welcome to this, the official groundbreaking ceremony for the Cul-De-Sac Bridge reconstruction project. Once again, ministers, Permanent Secretary and the Chief Representative, we await the escort of the police, the Traffic Department. They are on standby. So once again, if there is any official near, we'd like to alert the police officers that we are now ready for the official sword-turning ceremony, and the ministers, the JICA Chief Representative and Permanent Secretary, desirous of some assistance in making their way over to the official site. Again, if you're just joining us via radio, social media or television, GVD television, this is the official groundbreaking ceremony for the Cul-De-Sac Bridge reconstruction project financed by the government of Japan to the tune of 1.56 billion yen, or approximately 35 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. A big deal for us here in St. Lucia. It's a gift from the government and people of Japan, which will assist us in addressing the long-standing issue of flooding here in the Cul-De-Sac Basin, building our in-country resilience to climate change, and for the guests who remain here, I'm told that the live feed will appear on the screens pretty shortly. If you're joining us virtually and you aren't here to appreciate the moments on the ground, I can tell you that traffic has come to a standstill as members of the public appreciate the occasion, a big deal, the reconstruction of the Cul-De-Sac Bridge, financed by the government of Japan. As the officials make their way across, we can inform you, if you've just joined us via the live stream, that in some 21 months or less, the Japanese would have delivered on the promise here in Cul-De-Sac to deliver for you, the people of St. Lucia, what will be a world-class climate resilient bridge. They're also doing a lot of technical work upstream the river course to address the problem of flooding, and so we welcome this project. It is a grant from Japan to us here in St. Lucia. Final preparations now for the official groundbreaking. The hard hats are on. The shovels are in place. And on standby, the Minister for Infrastructure, the Honorable Stevens and King, the Minister for Economic Development, the Honorable Guy Joseph, the Chief Representative of the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Mr. Saru Tomoyaka, is on standby, as well as the Permanent Secretary. In the Ministry of Infrastructure, Mr. Ivor Daniel. Moments away now. So we just adjust the placement of the officials here for this, the official groundbreaking. A big deal financed by the government and people of Japan. A friendly gift. And we say thank you so very much to Ambassador who is joining us over in Trinidad and Tobago, the government and people of Japan for this gesture. Moments away now. And they begin. There you have it. The official sword-throwing ceremony here in Cul-De-Sac for official commencement of the Cul-De-Sac Bridge reconstruction project financed by the government of Japan. Right, the official handshakes, and it's now completed. The official groundbreaking for this, the project here in Cul-De-Sac, financed by the government of Japan. We are promised by the Japanese experts on ground that, weather permitting, the project will definitely be delivered on time and within budget. Of course, we look forward to the completion. Thank you to the Honourable Stephenson King, Minister for Infrastructure, the Honourable Guy E. Joseph, the Minister for Economic Development, Mr. Hirosawa Tomoyaka, the Chief Representative of the JICA here in St. Lucia, and our very own Permanent Secretary, Mr. Ivor Daniel. A historic moment which will live on in the memories of us all for a very long time. The official groundbreaking for the Cul-De-Sac Bridge reconstruction project financed by the government of Japan. Before we close this ceremony, I'm told that we are on standby for one final special message from our friends from Japan as we can try once more to reconnect over in Port of Spain with Ambassador of Japan to St. Lucia, based in Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency Tatsuo Hirayama. I think I'm told that we now have the connection, and we invite Ambassador to deliver remarks. Once again, I'm told it's a special message. You can now proceed, Ambassador. Ambassador Tatsuo Hirayama, if you can hear me, we are now ready to receive your message once again.
Good afternoon once again. Thank you very much for allowing me to join even virtually, and congratulations on the commencement of the reconstruction works of the important bridges, which would contribute to the stable infrastructure in your country. We are, as I said, we are proud that our contribution would would be successful when completed, when these two bridges are completed. So by the time I can visit your beautiful country once again, hopefully sooner, I'll be looking forward to the next opportunity to meet all of you and to visit the construction site so that we can feel confident that our cooperation is everlasting. And we are looking for other opportunities to, as I said, cooperate and count on each other on many issues of mutual interest. So hopefully we hope to see you soon in person. And until then, please stay safe and healthy and resilient. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Ambassador, for participating virtually. We thank you, your government and people, for the grant here in St. Lucia towards the Cul-De-Sac Bridge Reconstruction Project. And we also thank you, Ambassador, for the news announced today. Another grant to the government and people of St. Lucia, this time towards our efforts in combating the coronavirus. Ambassador, we thank you wholeheartedly. We know despite your own domestic situation and challenges, you continue to be our good friend. And for that, we say thank you, thank you, thank you to you, Ambassador, the government, and people of St. Lucia. Thank you. We can now officially allow the Ambassador, who joined us virtually, Ambassador His Excellency Tatsuo Hiroyama, the Ambassador of Japan to St. Lucia, to officially disconnect from the broadcast. Ambassador, leave is granted. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the official end of this afternoon's proceedings. Before we go, a special thank you once again to the government and people of Japan. A special thank you to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Thank you to the government of St. Lucia for its investment in this undertaking. Thank you to the Ministries of Infrastructure, the Ministries of Economic Development, External Affairs, and all other partners. Thank you to the contractor here on Island, Hazama Corporation. Thank you to the staff of the Department of Infrastructure. Media services provided today by GVD Television. We say a very special thank you to our friends from Sky FM who joined the broadcast also. Solutions at home and abroad, we thank you for tuning in and letting us into your homes and hearts with this very important message that the Cul-De-Sac Bridge Reconstruction Project is now underway. And in 21 months, the Japanese experts have promised, weather permitting, to deliver what will be the latest addition in our fast-growing stock of world-class infrastructure assets here in St. Lucia. With that, we thank you all for joining us, and we ask that God continue to bless you. Thank you, and do take care.